Well, hello everybody. This is Marty from PodJam TV, along with Misty.
Missy.
Yeah. Hey,
Hi,
Misty, how you
Marty.
doing?
I'm doing well. Hi,
Hey.
everyone.
We're back for another episode of PodJam TV, and in this episode, it's all about sharing. And we
Yes.
mean by sharing, we mean online sharing
Yes.
of information,
Mm-hmm.
sharing of personal accomplishments and personal activities,
Mm-hmm.
and also sharing of interests. And we have
Yes.
three different tools today to share with you guys
Mm-hmm.
on that we've used and discovered. And why don't we get right into it with the first one?
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is what is the first one?
It's called the Yahoo News Facebook Connect.
Hmm.
Yahoo recently had a partnership with Facebook wherein readers of Yahoo can connect their Facebook account. And what happens there is that you have the option to share it on your news feed on Facebook, whatever it is that you read. You can automatically do it or do it manually. So what happens is if you read an article, it can automatically be posted on your Facebook.
It's like a little box, right, on your Facebook wall.
Mm-hmm. Or it's like if several people are reading the same stuff, it goes on their news feed and people will know that you're reading a particular section or article on Yahoo itself.
And what's cool about that is there's a social aspect to it, so you can see what your friends are sharing, and you can discover news through what your friends are reading.
Mm-hmm. It's quite easy. And what's great about it is, of course, since it's on Facebook, people can actually they can comment, and they can share that article.
Great way to get discussion going over, current events or news items or just general interest stories. And there's obviously all the different topics of Yahoo News is covered, and you can share different stories. Now, the couple of big things happened with Yahoo News that involved you in particular. You were selected as a featured reader.
I would like to thank Yahoo for selecting me as a featured reader of the week. I think they considered me as an online influencer. And what happened is that they featured our site, our blog, and also what's so great about what happened last week is that one of our articles was on the Yahoo News front page.
That's right, the power of retweeting, and it was featured on the front page of Yahoo News, which was a big thrill for us. And we want to thank Yahoo for doing that and partnering with us and allowing us to share our posts on there. And we got to discover a great service in Yahoo News, and especially the social aspect of Facebook Connect, and it's great. So we invite everyone to check that out. If you have a Facebook account, you can certainly connect through there and see what your friends are reading and kind of enjoy the social aspect of information sharing.
Yep.
Now, our second tool is a tool that both of us, I think, were familiar with about a year ago. I know I signed up a year ago under version 1. Wasn't all that impressed. It was like a photo sharing site, very much like Instagram and some of these other sites. Wasn't really anything special. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Facebook, and really wasn't very distinctive. And then about just several weeks ago, and I want to thank Kristen Chong for inviting me back in. I've known that Path, the application we're talking about is Path.
Yes.
PATH. It's a mobile application available on iPhone and Android. But I realized that they did a total redesign, but I didn't realize how good it was until I got invited back in. And man, this thing is great. I mean,
it's like your journal online. Yeah. And what the beauty of this, I think it's also that it can be private, wherein you can only add like 150 people.
Yeah, it's a limit there, so it's different than for people that think it's Facebook. It isn't.
It's not.
It's designed to be very, very much more intimate than Facebook is.
And then you can share photos. You can share your thoughts. You can share the places. You can share music and moments. And what I love about is that people can interact with you. The people who follow you and the people you follow can interact with you through these emoticons that they have. It can be like smiling or laughing or
like
surprise
or surprise
and loving whatever post that you put on there. Even they even have like a sad emoticon, which is like so funny.
Yeah.
And you can also, aside from that, you can also make a comment.
Yep.
Yep.
You have running conversations there. The other thing I really like about it is it's got a cool little feature where you can say when you go to sleep and wake up, and that's kind of neat. It's sort of like a journal, you know, has a and the big thing for me, which I find tremendous, is the user interface, which is spectacular. I mean, it's like this timeline effect. It's got this like clock in the corner that rolls, and so you can see when everybody
posted it.
Yeah, and it comes in. There's a couple of different features. You have your own path, so you basically your own timeline you can visit, but the people that you follow get integrated into the home screen.
Yeah, it's like a home news feed.
Right, it's very much like Facebook and home news feed, but it's obviously much more intimate. But I think the killer feature of this is that interface is gorgeous.
And not only that, it's of course it's not available yet. There's no web site available. I mean, not available on the web. But I think it was created really more for mobile.
Very much so.
Since everyone has their smartphones, you know, it's much more easier to, you know, share photos. And you know, we also listen to music through our phones. Well, so you can share that too.
Yeah, I will mention that you can share songs. And what's cool about that is it actually gives you, it hooks into iTunes. And when you click on someone's song, the song that they shared, it'll give you a snippet of that song. I think iTunes now is up to 90 seconds. So you get to hear a song, and you actually purchase a song right through Path.
Which is great.
Yeah, it is great.
If you like what they're listening to and you want it on your phone, you can just buy it right away.
Great way to discover new music through your friends, who you know, and through your close friends who you trust, obviously, their taste. So it's a great way to discover music, but it's just
and going back to the moment wherein you can put there good night and say when you're awake, it actually tells you how much sleep you get.
It does, and if you have locations set up, it actually tells you where you're saying goodnight from, and actually when you wake up, it gives you a little weather report. It tells you, you know, temperature and how long you've been sleeping, and little fun quote there.
Saying like with what happens to you is like you know, like you work in different hours, like you go to work at 6 p.m. and usually sleep early in the later in the morning, and it's like it's concerned. It says there, I hope you sleep in.
Exactly. Oh, it's hilarious. It's great, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's a great application. In fact, I encourage everyone to check it out. If you were familiar with the verse version of it about a year ago and you didn't like it, I highly encourage you guys to check it out. I mean, it is completely changed. It's really, really gorgeous, and just a killer app on mobile, and kind of like a journal app. And plus, you can share with your friends, which is great. So that's Path. Our third sharing tool is something called Pinterest, right?
Yes.
Pinterest. And what is Pinterest? Which I had for a while again, and I just kind of recently got back into it a little bit.
Knowing you as an app addict, for sure
right?
You've downloaded it on your phone before. But you know, it's quite interesting. I've been seeing a lot of my friends on Facebook and on Twitter sharing posts through Pinterest, so that got me a little curious and tried it out myself. And it's a social site again, wherein people can share and explore different categories. That's what makes it very interesting. It's like if you're interested in photography or art, culture, recipes, you can explore through your followers what they're doing for the particular or whatever interest that they have. And you can interact with it by repinning it liking it, and commenting on it.
Exactly. It sort of mimics a pin board or like a bulletin board. And you can everyone has their own bulletin and it has different sections, like you said. And it's kind of a neat way to kind of display your interests and share it among friends. And this is a pretty fast growing, both Path and Pinterest are pretty fast growing kind of the new breed of social network where, unlike Twitter and Facebook and certainly everyone's heard of those two. They're kind of the two big boys, and maybe Google Plus coming along as third place. But I think these kind of these specialized social networks definitely have a place, and I think this is bearing out with the extreme adoption rate that they're experiencing, the fast growth rate that they're experiencing right now. And I think they have a place, and
and they all have, like, again, whenever something comes up, people always say, "Oh, it's a Facebook killer or a Twitter killer." Yeah. Don't think of it as that. I mean, every app has its own particular use, right? Like Path is different; it's a journal, or Pinterest is like simple, fast sharing of your interest. Can I add also, for Pinterest, you can create your own boards as well. If it's a category or add a board, and people can follow you as a person on your profile, or if they don't want to follow you and they just want to follow a certain board or a particular category, you can do that too.
Exactly, and also you can share boards.
So focused, yeah.
And in fact, we do this. You can actually share Pinterest boards
with other people,
and you can collaborate, right? Which is kind of cool. And we're just starting to get into the app. We just started experimenting with it, but that's kind of cool where you can kind of share interests and kind of co-own the board. So like for example, we have a big interest in Apple products, as many of you guys know. So one of the board and photography. So one of the two of the boards that we share, Apple stuff and photography, and we're just starting. We're going to put a lot more stuff on there, but it's kind of cool. You can add stuff to it and kind of play around with it that way. So and getting back to social networks real quick is we definitely encourage you to try some of these niche networks. I mean,
yes,
we realize that there are a lot of networks out there, and you only have so many hours in a day. But try these out, because you're gonna find that you might find some of these niche networks that work best for you. They're not going to work for everybody.
Yep.
But definitely encourage you to try some of these, because the three that on top of Yahoo News, but certainly Path and Pinterest being kind of niche networks, they're pretty cool. And I think that they're gonna continue to experience a lot of growth. We'll see down the road how they compare, and certainly they're not in the league of Twitter and Facebook just because of amount of users, but they definitely got their place.
Especially if you like to just have fun,
absolutely,
and you just want to interact with your friends on a more intimate basis.
Absolutely,
then Path and Pinterest would be one of the best tools to try out.
So those are three ways to share online, three newer ways. What do you guys have? Do you guys have other ways you share online information or personal accomplishments or interests? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Anything else, Misty?
That's it for me.
I know I always ask you that. That'll do it for another.
What
was that?
You like putting me on the spot?
Of course. It's tradition. That'll do it for another edition of Pod Jam TV. We will see you next time.